Well, hello, welcome again to a reading through of Iliad 16, and I got up to line 218. So Panton de pro paroith the du anerith thoresonto. This is the duel here. Now the verb here, thoresonto, it's something like were arming themselves. It's an imperfect, probably either passive or middle. The Oxford Classical text has this, which is what I'm reading from. Some other editors and texts at this point have a variant reading. They have the dual form, thoresesthon. So just note there's a variant reading here. So, but in front of all of them, that is in front of all the Myrmidons, there were two men were arming themselves, Patroklos and Automedon. Ekontes henathumon, literally having one heart. Polemidzemin, this is an infinitive, to fight in front of the Myrmidons. Aute, but Achilles, Bay dimen, this is the infinitive from Amy Ibo. You just get the root I, and then that's that Homeric infinitive. So Achilles went to go to his tent, and now the apo goes with the verb. Now the verb here is anoigo. Anoigo, to open, which originally was a compound of ana plus oigo, or oignumi, to open. But the an seems to have gotten connected with the verb very early in the piece. And you do get in here a double augment, so you're getting the oi as augmenting, and you get another epsilon as well. This verb gets badly treated in later Greek as well. In later Greek, even in earlier Xenophon, you get strange forms of this, and then in the much later Greek you get triple augments and all sorts of strange forms of this verb. So and here it's in the imperfect with augment. So he began to open the poma, this is the lid, kalu, of a chest which was beautiful and daedalias, cleverly made, which Thetis, with the silver feet, or silver ankled, placed for him in the ship, and then we get this epexegetic infinitive agesthai, to take along. Placeasa, from probably from Pimplamy, having filled it well. And then we get a genitive of the content here. Filled it well with tunics and cloaks, which keep away the will give shelter from, which gives shelter from the wind. This word only here. So cloaks which shelter you from the wind, and these are woolen rugs from tapetes. So she'd filled this thing full of wooden, this chest full of these tunics and cloaks and woolen rugs, which keep away the wind. And there, now eske is the iterative from the verb to be. So there was for him there, depas, a cup, tetugmenon, a worked cup. This is from tuco originally. It's a perfect passive participle, so we might say a well-worked cup. Nor did any other, nor neither did any other of men use to drink from it, iterative from pino. Nor did any other of men used to drink eithopa oinon, sparkling wine from it, literally sort of sparkling faced wine, so sparkling wine from it. ute, neither spendesque, this is another iterative from spendo or spendamai or spendo, nor did he use to pour libation to any, teo for tini, to any of the gods. Hoti may, well, except to Father Zeus. So hote may, slightly idiomatic here, so it must mean something like except when he poured libation to Father Zeus, to get the when into it. To it, that is this cup, at that time, having taken it from the chest, ekathera from kathairo, he cleansed it, the ao, with sulphur. Sulphur was used as a purifier and as a disinfectant. It's a way of cleaning things. So he purified it with sulphur, first of all, and then he washed, it must be washed it, with the beautiful streams of water, and he then washed his own hands. Lovely example there of nipto in the active and nipto in the middle, niptomai. So he washes this cup in beautiful streams of water, but then in the middle he washes his own hands. Aphusato, so he drew off the sparkling wine. So the wine's in some kind of vat, and he collects some of it. He drew off the sparkling wine in this cup, and afterwards, standing in the middle of the herke, this is dated from herkos, a court. It is connected with that verb meaning to fence something off, and so a courtyard is something which is fenced off, and so it has the idea of the court. So standing in the middle of the court then, he prayed, and lebe, he poured out wine, ace an idon, from ace plus ana plus idon, looking up into uranon, into heaven. And you don't always translate det in Homer as but, sometimes it's just and he did not escape the notice of, from Lanthano, he did not escape the notice of Zeus, who delights in the lightning, the thunderbolt, terpikaunon. Now this is his prayer here. Zeu ana. Ana, vocative for anax. So Lord Zeus, the god from Dodona, the Pelasgian god. Again, I'll leave you to look up the commentaries on this. There's a very loaded word, this word Pelasgian. Seems to refer to the earlier inhabitants before the Greeks came, called the Pelasgians. Herodotus has a bit to say on it as well, but I'll leave it to the commentators to comment on. So Lord Zeus, god of Dodona, Pelasgian god, dwelling far away, ruling Dodona, which is dus Cameron, something like wintry, with terrible winters, so wintry Dodona. Amphides Seloi, and this is a very funny line here as well. The Seloi, or sometimes called the Heloi, these appear to be some sort of primitive aesthetic cult, and they were the priests of Zeus at Dodona. So again, the commentaries will have much to say on this one. The amphi goes with the nio. The soy here, be careful, it's not soy dative, it's soy plural of sos. You don't come across that very often, but that's actually a nominative plural. So your priests, understood, the Seloi, dwell around, that is, dwell around Dodona, Hypopheti, they are interpreters, and they're alpha privative with unwashed feet, from alpha privative plus nipto plus the pous podos root, with unwashed feet, and then sleeping, it's the une part of it, on the ground. So interpreters with unwashed feet who sleep on the ground. These are these strange priests, this very ascetic cult. Now we get amen and ade. So either, in fact, once you heard my word, or heard, my word from me praying. I've got a genitive there, or having prayed. So I'll do that bit again. So either, in fact, once you heard my word from me when I prayed, and we get a men and a de. On the one hand, having honoured me, and ipsao is from iptomai, to smite. This is uncontracted here. It's a second person. You smote greatly the people of the Achaeans. So when I prayed to you before, you honoured me, and you greatly smote the people of the Achaeans. The ade, well, it's sort of or, I suppose, and still now, I would probably say and still now also epikrainon, this is an imperative from epikrino, fulfill this eldor, this desire, or this wish, moi, for me. I myself, the autos is quite emphatic, so I myself, meneo, from men eso, the sigma's dropped out, it's an uncontracted future. So for I myself will remain at the agony. Here it's something like the gathering, I think. Ago normally is a contest, but at the gathering of the ships, so the place where the ships are gathered. But hetaron for hetiron, but I will send my comrade along with many, this is not from polis, a city, this is from double lambda, along with many Myrmidons, marnasthai, to fight. Pro s, I think must be imperative from pro hiemi, so along with him send forth kudos, glory, wide-seeing, wide-eyed or wide-seeing Zeus, and thasunon, and stir up for him his heart in his soul, in his mind, so that, now this bit is tricky, I think, kai hector aesatai, so that even Hector will know. Now we get A and A. So I think it's something like whether in so whether our therapone, our servant, also alone, that is by himself, knows how to fight, or at that time his hands, his inner, his aptai, his invincible hands rage only when I might go. This is subjunctive from Amy Ibo. It's just the it. I might go meta among the I go among the molon, very rare word. It means toil or struggle, the struggle of Ares. I'll just do that bit again. That's fairly complicated little bit there. So so stir up the heart, the airtor, for him in his mind or in his breast, or so that even Hector will know and then it gives two alternatives. So either even my servant knows how to fight, or he can only fight well when I'm there with him. That's the sense of it there. So whether, so that even Hector will know, probably a subjunctive here rather than a future, but with a short vowel. So might know whether our servant, even by himself, even alone, might know how to fight, or that whenever I might go into this toil of Ares, the hands for him at that time rage, and then aptoi, it's going with chares, but we could say invincibly, or his invincible hands at that time rage. Slightly tricky little section there, I think. Aute epe capinalfi macainenopi diate. So DMI is to send or chase away, but but when he chases away, that goes with the apo, when he chases away the battle and the enopain and the, I think it's the battle cry, away from the ship, an old ablative phi ending, so away from the ship, then, optative of wish, may he come unscathed to me, unscathed for me, is almost ethic dative, so please may he come unscathed to the swift ships, along with all the armour. Remember that Patroklos is wearing Achilles' very expensive armour, and with his hetaroisi for heteroisi, and with his comrades who fight in close combat, anchimakois. And thus he spoke, praying, and wily Zeus heard him. This is a very moving little passage here. So Zeus heard him, but the Father granted, on the one hand, one of two things to him. So it's a typical use of heteron in the sense of one of two things. So the Father granted, on the one hand, one of the two things to him, but ananuse, he refused the other one. This is from ananuo, literally to nod upwards. We normally shake our head when we say no. For the Greeks, you nod upwards meant no. So the very lovely little section here. So thus he spoke in prayer, and wily Zeus heard him. And the Father granted, on the one hand, one of the two things to him, but he refused the other. And then in apposition to all of that, again with a men and a de. So on the one hand, for him to push away the war and the battle, neon, from the ships, genitive after the apo here, this is from apotheo, in the middle, to push away the battle and fighting from the ships, but he refused, for him understood, to return soon, safe and sound, we would say, from the battle. This is connected with so it's an adjective, soos, or soos, meaning safe. So he refused for him to return, we would say, safely from the battle. This again, after this long passages we've had about getting them all ready to go and listing all the 5 rulers and leaders and all the encouragement here, which sort of takes our mind away from the terrible thing that's about to happen. Homer then plonks just these lovely little lines in here just to remind us that Patroklos is going to die. Again, he's playing with the tension in the story. It's very clever. Homer does this a lot. It's very beautiful. Anyway, that is the next part of chapter of book 16.